What's good, y'all? I'm back with another video recapping the playoffs as I've been doing all season. And these past couple of days, we have had a lot of things unfold. Last time I talked to y'all was, I believe it was Friday. So we've missed quite a few. Well, I've missed quite a few things. Yeah, I missed quite a few things since Friday because I didn't even recap some of the games. We've had a couple series develop, a couple teams finally get a win, a couple teams kind of take a commanding lead in the series. So I'm going to get into that in this video. Before I get too deep in the video, I do want to say one thing. Make sure you like the video because I know you're going to enjoy it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because if you enjoy this one, you're going to enjoy all my videos beforehand. And once the playoffs is over, the content doesn't start. It's actually going to ramp up a little bit. We're going to be right back on it. That's all I got. But let's get into the video. So, last video I gave y'all was May 9th. I talked about the Timberwolves blowing out the Warriors that night. Cool. Since then, let's go to Friday. Cavaliers finally beat the Pacers, and the Nuggets beat the Thunder. So, talking about this Cavaliers-Pacers game, the Cavaliers are full strength. I know in the video I was like, I'm not sure if the Cavaliers are going to be full strength because the injury report hadn't come out yet, or at least I hadn't seen it. But it came out. Darius Garland played, Evan Mobley played, DeAndre Hunter played. They all played phenomenally well. Evan Mobley, like the defensive player of the year that we all know him to be. The Cavs have switched to a little zone with Evan Mobley kind of serving as like a little free safety role, just being able to roam free, and he caused a lot of havoc for that Pacers defense. And the Pacers really weren't able to make any shots. They shot 30% from three that game, and you know, you play in the zone, you can't make any shots. You can't get to the paint because that's what the zone is for. So ultimately, the Pacers lose. The Cavs look good. Donovan Mitchell, another phenomenal game. Another near double-double, 43-9, 5 assists. Darius Garland, he didn't look like Darius Garland. You kind of tell that he was a little hobbled. You know, maybe his toe was still messing with him. Something was still messing with him. But just his sheer presence being out there definitely helped. Kind of shifted the way the Pacers play defense. And, of course, with Evan Mobley coming out to play, DeAndre Hunter putting in some good minutes, they were able to win. And, of course, Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell has just been phenomenal all series. Anything the Cavs have needed, he has been able to give them, whether it be defensively, offensively, playmaking-wise, leadership-wise. He has provided for them in every single circumstance. And did again in this game. And now for some of the negatives for the Cavs. Got to talk about Ty Jerome. We talked about the positives, you know, the defense, them being able to get one on the road. But Ty Jerome, he's just selling a lot of money. Put it like that. He didn't play well. Tyrese Halliburton didn't play well this game. Only had 4 points. But a lot of that was due to the Cavaliers in their zone and them playing deny on Tyrese. When you deny the ball from Tyrese Halliburton, you forcing somebody else in that team to make a play. Kind of shifts the way that team is able to play for that game, and I don't think the Pacers were totally prepared for that. So having somebody like Andrew Nembhard or Pascal Siakam, who's your leading scorer in this game, kind of be the main ball handler when you're just playing deny on Tyrese because you feel like that's the only way you can win, kind of disrupts things, and it doesn't help when you have somebody like Evan Mobley coming back and doing what Evan Mobley does. Quite that simple. Boom. Next game, Thunder versus the Nuggets. Nuggets win 113-104. The Thunder give up a 14-2 run to end the game, and they ultimately lose to the Nuggets in overtime. My biggest thing from this game is a couple things. Shea has to be able to, he has to develop some type of trust in his teammates. You're an MVP caliber player. We know you can score. We know you're a mid-range killer. We know this. But you have to be able to trust your teammates. Jalen Williams had 32 this game. Chet had 18. Isaiah Hartenstein had 10. Alex Caruso, Casey Wallace didn't play his best game. Neither did Aaron Wiggins. Alex Caruso gave you some good minutes off the bench. But still, down the stretch of that game, you just see Shea take some very questionable shots. He's just making some very questionable decisions in the half-court offense. Whether it could be like two people on him, he'll still try to shoot over him, or if he gets to the basket and it's clear the defense has shifted towards his way, he's not passing the ball. He's kind of more just so resetting, see how he can get another shot off. And that's just not going to work. You have to trust your teammates. And the Nuggets kind of took advantage of that. Down the stretch, Jokic was still struggling. He only had 20 and 16. We know Jokic don't get them boards, but he wasn't as impactful as he usually is, but it's okay. Jamal Murray came to play, 27 and 8. Aaron Gordon looked like Aaron Gordon just down the stretch. He just has continued to look phenomenal. So did Michael Porter Jr., who, despite him having that shoulder injury, he has been phenomenal for the Nuggets in the playoffs. And throughout the different interviews, he's saying it's playoff time, so it's no excuse. And hey, if you're able to perform, regardless of your situation, I gotta clap it up for you. Good job, MPJ. And a big shout out though to Russell Westbrook. I know I just talked about Shea and how we all know Shea has struggled this playoffs. He struggled specifically in this series. One of the biggest reasons he has struggled is due to the on-ball pressure that is being placed on him as soon as he gets the ball in his hands. And one of the main defenders that has been on him has been Russell Westbrook, which is no surprise. Coming out of UCLA, when he was going to NBA, one of the biggest things about Russ was how well of a defender that he is. Russ came in as one of the best defensive guard prospects that we had seen in a long time just because of how athletic he was, how fluid he was. He was able to keep up with the shiftier guards, the quicker guards. It was Russell Westbrook. We all know Russell Westbrook's physical capabilities. So that was the main thing, and we definitely saw there were a couple possessions where he's literally just sitting in that chair. And Shea will try to make a move. Fake. Russ he's sitting in the chair. He's following him the whole time, staying in front of him. And it just made life very hard for Shea. So, have to clap it up for Brody. He has been phenomenal all series, defensively and as a leader, just kind of guiding this team through the playoffs. Well, although it's kind of crazy because the Nuggets have been here before, Russell Westbrook has been in the NBA for a long time now. So, he has even more experience than any of the players on the Nuggets have, easily. And as for the Thunder as a whole, just have to get better at executing down the stretch. The experience is definitely starting to show with the Thunder. Throughout the regular season, they didn't really have too many close games. They were just blowing teams out left and right, and the Stars really have to play down the line. But that can be kind of detrimental when you get to the playoffs where everything slows down. It's not the regular season no more. You're going to be in a bunch of close games. You're going to be in a bunch of close situations where you have to execute down the stretch. And when you're a young team where this is one of your first times in the playoffs and you've never, ever been in a predicament like this, you're going to struggle. And we're seeing Coach Mark Daigneault, he's starting to struggle just with kind of some of the adjustments he's making, some of the lineups he's putting out there, some of the decisions he's making. Just kind of starting to big brain it a little too much instead of going with what's in front of him, going with what he knows, but he's a young coach. Then you have somebody like a Shea, like a Jada, like a Chet. The entire team down the stretch just kind of looks like this team doesn't know what to do. They're not really running many plays. They're not really running many plays anymore. They're not really trying to get looks open. It's just kind of more, okay, you get the ball, you do something. Shea, you get the ball, you do something. And even when the defense tries to crash in on these players that have the ball, whether it be a Shea or a J-Dub or a Chet, they just look like a deer caught in the headlights and they don't know what to do. Then you have the Nuggets come down the other end, and they just are literally, better. They just know how to execute down the stretch better. And it's just something that, not surprising because they've been doing it for so very long. So, yeah, that's typically what happens, Nuggets end up winning. Really not much to say about that game in particular. Next game, Saturday. Celtics versus the Knicks, and the Timberwolves versus the Warriors. Celtics versus the Knicks is really not much to talk about, in my opinion. It's really not much to talk about, in my opinion, honestly. The way I see it, Celtics, they come out, they get a huge lead, and just nothing new. They're just able to execute, get a huge lead, start the game off. But down the stretch, they were actually able to finish the game off and execute. Jason Tatum, he doesn't have, too phenomenally of a game. Near triple-double, but it was definitely more of a team effort win. And the biggest thing I'm seeing is just that the Celtics made their shots this game. They shot 43s once again. However, this time 20 of them went down, which is way different than only 10 of them going down. But the big reason as to why they were able to win, this game. As for the Knicks need to come out with more of an intensity to start off the game. That's what I would say. And also have to just more specifically for a Mikal Bridges, who had, how many turnovers did he have this game? Oh, hold up. How many turnovers did he have this game? Dang. Okay. I can't see how many turnovers he had, but I just know like down the stretch, Mikal was definitely making some kind of very questionable decisions in my eyes. Some questionable passes, questionable plays. Down the stretch, you need to come out with that intensity. Can't allow the Celtics to go out by that much start the game. They're going to make shots. I don't know how you can adjust how the Knicks should go about adjusting their defense, but just come out with some more intensity. That way you don't put yourself in so big of a hole and then think, oh, well, shoot, it's going to be the second half. It's going to be a massacre. We're going to come back. That is not always guaranteed. That's really all I have to say. Celtics made their shots and they won the game. Hey, they stayed true to who they were. Ain't mad at it. Timberwolves versus the Warriors. Spend a little bit more time on this because this is a game, honestly, if you are the Warriors, this is a game you want to win. You have Jimmy giving you a 33 7-7 game. He's attacking guys. He's going downhill. He's getting to the free throw line. He's making very clutch and key plays down the stretch. And then you have Jonathan Kuminga, who, throughout the season, he had been struggling a lot with his play time. He was very inconsistent. Some games he looked like the future, like what people thought he was going to be when drafting him. Other games he looked the exact opposite of that. In this game, he looked like exactly what people thought he was going to be. He put up 30 points. Jimmy gives you 30 points. And honestly, for a team like this, in a game like this where you don't have a Stephen Curry, this is a game you want to win. Jimmy gives you 30. Jonathan gives you 30. But you have a Pods only gives you 5. Buddy only gives you 14. Draymond fouls out down the stretch, which, I really don't know much more you can say about Draymond. Draymond just has to be better. He just has to be smarter down the stretch of these games. You can't foul out in a close game like this. Especially when the Timberwolves start off slow, which is why I believe at the end of the third quarter you had that 1-point lead because the Timberwolves were starting off slow. But the Timberwolves, you were still able to compete with Timberwolves despite the size disadvantage that you guys have because of everybody on the team performing about as well as you can ask for them to play, even with a Jonathan Kuminga outperforming. And the defense that they were playing was phenomenal as well. But the Timberwolves, they're able to pull it out in the end. A lot of this being credited to down the stretch, Anthony Edwards became Anthony Edwards. During the start of the series and even at the start of this game, Anthony Edwards just didn't look very good. Not that he looked injured or anything, he just didn't look very good. It's quite that simple. But the second half came and you knew he was due for something. He comes out second half and he turns it on. He ends up finishing the game with 36 points and he turns it on. He even gets that big dunk on Kevon Looney. He gets some other big plays down the stretch. He has a block. He just turned it on. And then you have a Julius Randle who gives you a triple-double. 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 12 assists. 3 steals. And he had I remember one key rebound that, I don't remember what it was. Where this just kind of shows you the growth of the player to where he is now a positive playoff performer and a positive asset to a team where you could argue in the past, not that he was a negative asset to the team, but just more so a lot of the things he did in the court kind of went against what you would say winning basketball is. And one of these instances is where Anthony Edwards, he shoots a 3, boom, and he misses. Julius Randle goes up, get the rebound. And in the past, Julius Randle definitely was somebody who I'm looking at that. I'm like, oh, he's definitely got to go back up. Maybe he gets 2, maybe he doesn't. But instead, he sees Anthony Edwards, one of the best shooters in the NBA this season, wide open again, gives it to Ant. Ant is the high hand. You recognize that, give it back to him, and cashes the second one. That is winning basketball. That is a winning play. You get 3 points instead of maybe getting 2 points. And that's just great basketball. And yeah, Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle were very aggressive on the boards as well. Again, they win the rebound battle by 8, and they got 13 offensive rebounds as well. And yeah, that is what happens. What is, I'm not saying I'm surprised by any of this. Anthony Edwards, he was due for, and Julius Randle has been playing great all playoffs, even though he struggled early in this series. But this was a great game. However, if you're the Warriors, a game where you win on points in the paint, you are able to force more turnovers. You shoot better from the 3 than the Timberwolves. You have 2 players score 30 points. This is a game that you want to win. And right now it's just not looking very good for you all. Yesterday, the Thunder beat the Nuggets and the Cavs beat the Pacers. I didn't really watch much of the Cavs and the Pacers game because I got home, I saw that the Pacers were up by 20, and I said, "Oh, I'm not watching this." I mean, no, I watched a little bit of it, and then I'm like, "Oh, I'm not watching this," because after Benedict Mathurin, he goes out for that, his shenanigans early on. The Pacers just were shooting the lights off. Like, they could not miss. What did they shoot from the field, actually? The Pacers shot 52% from the field and 42% from the three. It's very hard if you're the Cavs to even try to compete with a team that can't miss. They came out with the zone once again, but the zone only works if the team you're in the zone against is missing shots. And like I just said, the Pacers were not missing shots. This wasn't even a great Tyrese Halliburton game or anything like that. Everybody on the Pacers literally just came out to play. They played so well to where towards the end you got guys like Johnny Furpey being able to get some play time. Like, that's how great the Pacers were playing in this game. The Cavaliers just weren't good enough. Donovan Mitchell, he unfortunately went out with an ankle injury. I don't know how serious it is, but I wouldn't have wanted to put him back in. I wouldn't have wanted to put him back in that game anyway. Just wasn't worth it. So yeah. Now for the other game, the more interesting game, the Thunder and the Nuggets. I just want to applaud the Thunder for being able to execute down the stretch. Now, I did see some blunders. Once again, I remember one possession where, this game was getting close, and Shea gets the ball. I think did the Nuggets? I don't know if the Nuggets missed, but anyways, the Thunder on offense, Shea gets the ball. He is trying to cook or whatever, and he's just doing a lot, just wasting time off the clock. Then he finally gets a little break, able to go to the paint, doesn't even go up with the ball. And he ends up resetting, and now he ends up taking a horrible shot, misses, and you're like, that's a wasted possession. You should have passed it. You should have maybe reset the offense from top to key, gave it away. I don't know, but that is a bad possession. However, the Thunder end up executing very well defensively, forcing Jokic to miss, not allowing Jamal Murray to get any of his shots off. And down the stretch, just great defense and great offensive execution from everybody except for Shea allowed the Thunder to be able to prevail in this game. I have to definitely applaud the others as well from OKC. Cason Wallace, Alex Caruso, Aaron Wiggins. They all play phenomenally. Just being able to shoot the light off of the ball. The leather off of the ball. They played really well and allowed this team to be able to win. And on top of that, the Thunder played phenomenal defense. The Nuggets, who have the best player in the world and arguably one of the best offenses in the NBA, were held to 8 points by the end of the first quarter. And they were actually held to 8 for but for part of the second quarter as well. Being able to do that against Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and Aaron Gordon is impressive. I don't care how you spin it. I don't care how you try to spin it. That is always going to be impressive to me. So yeah, great game from them. Great game from the Thunder. And they're able to tie it up 2-2. Going back in OKC. And we're just got to see how this game goes. And yeah, tonight we have the Celtics versus the Knicks. Timberwolves versus the Warriors. I don't really know how these games are going to go because very curious to see how the Knicks just come out to play. If they come out lackluster and allow a team like the Celtics, who seems like they've found their rhythm and they've gone right back to their identity and they're succeeding at that identity, kind of continue to play the same way, I don't really see the Knicks winning this game or another game in the series. However, I think Tom Thibodeau and the rest of these boys on this roster kind of come out with some intensity. That being said, gonna take the Celtics tonight. I'm taking the Celtics to tie it up 2-2 going back to Boston. Timberwolves, I got Timberwolves beating the Warriors. Unless we get like another performance like that from Jimmy or Kuminga, or Draymond locks in, or somebody else on the team just decides to play, I see the Timberwolves just winning. Timberwolves win, and they end up going back to Minnesota with a 3-1 lead. And yeah, these are my predictions. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments. about my predictions. Let me know what you guys' predictions are in the comments for tonight. Let me know just how you feel about what I said. But that's all I have for now. And until next time, peace.